Hello, women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. This week, please join me in welcoming Michelle Levin Wang, Channel Marketing Leader, Distributed Infrastructure with Eaton. Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I am really excited to get to know you. So let's start off with the icebreaker questions. Where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
I live right outside of Chicago, in a northern suburb of Chicago. And I grew up literally in the city next door, Glenview. And I live in Morton Grove now. It's a small community, really wonderful, great place to raise kids. So,
Awesome. Well, what is a little known fact about you that you don't mind sharing with, I don't know, 5,000 or so of my closest friends?
5,000. Okay. Well, recently, I would say about a year ago, I got really into Pilates. I hate working out. It is horrible to me. But I discovered Pilates and I am obsessed with it. I love it. It's given me so much and it's been super fun. So I would recommend it to anyone, especially those that hate working out. It is a great outlet.
I love that you found that. It just kind of reminded me when my kids were younger, and I was like, oh, I hate working out. But just as you pointed out, like doing something for yourself is really good for us, right? It's good self-care. But finding something you love to do, even better than it's on a chore. So love that you found that.
Yes, self-care is great. I mean, I tried running and I'm like, you know what? Unless someone is running after me with something, it's just not my thing. So Pilates is wonderful. Yes. I work out with
Amazing.
80-year-old women. I work out with 20-year-old women. So it's great.
I love that. I'll have to give that a shot. All right. Well, let's move into more of your professional career
Sure.
and learn a little bit about you and your career path and how you reached this amazing position you're in with Eaton.
Sure. It's a little bit different, I guess, a little bit more traditional and old school. I started with Triplite when I was out of school, right out of college. I started as an individual contributor in a marketing specialist position in the channel. I had never heard of the IT channel before. I had never heard of these companies before. I learned a lot and the company grew and I grew with the company. And I went from an individual contributor to a manager to taking on more and more responsibility. And then a couple years ago, Triplite was acquired by Eaton. So I joined the Eaton family along with my team and obviously the rest of my company. And it's been really a great experience at Eaton. It's a wonderful company. I work with some really amazing peers and leaders. And it's just been a great journey so far. So, yeah.
Well, the Eaton women are definitely a fun group for sure. I've had the opportunity to meet several of your team at our events. So I love that for you.
Yes.
What is something you've learned that maybe you wish you knew earlier in your career?
And I would say this is both, professional and personal. My dad passed away a couple years ago. He battled pancreatic cancer for a while, and it just made me realize life is too short. You need to advocate for yourself. No one else is going to advocate for you if you don't advocate for yourself. And if you're in a position that is not making you happy, or you can do better for yourself, you need to be the change. You need to have that voice and make that change for yourself. So, I really wish I knew that earlier on in my career. But, every experience means something. Every experience shapes your career and who you are, even the bad experiences. So I'm thankful for all of it. But I really try to empower my team and show them that, no one else is going to advocate for you. I will advocate for them, but you really need to advocate for yourself. So, yeah.
Well, first off, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you.
As you mentioned, going through every experience we go through, um, it has an opportunity to grow and change with it and learn something from it and maybe do something positive with it. So I love that you are not only modeling that behavior for yourself and your team, but also encouraging them by, being a speaking voice for them when they're not in the room, but then also, encouraging them to self advocate as well, because certainly I will speak for myself, but very common in other women, we're not so good at that. So I love that you saw that opportunity and seized it and are now working on making sure that others do that for themselves as well.
Thank you. And I have two kids. My daughter's 13. It's a unique age, super fun. My
Yes.
son's 11 and a half, and I really try to teach that and instill that in them too. It's been fun.
That's a smart mama taking those life lessons to your
Yes.
to your kids for sure. All right. I think we have time for one more. So let's go with some patterns that you've noticed over the years about women at work and some things that we could be doing better to advance in our careers.
I've seen so many more women in leadership positions. And maybe that's just an element of being at a larger company. But I think it's kind of broader than that. It's Eaton is very much about leading with empathy. And I think that has really helped propel females in the workplace and females in leadership positions. I remember way back in the day, I said my daughter's 13, so this was a long time ago, when she was a baby. And, it was really difficult, waking up at the crack of dawn, bringing her to daycare, driving an hour into work, being there for 8.5 hours, driving home, sometimes missing, the deadline to pick her up because there was a snowstorm one time. It only happened once. But it was different back then. And now, if I see a lot of women at my company, being able to have more flexible time and being able to take care of their kids a little bit, it's different now.
Sure.
It's more empathetic. It's just a different environment. So, and kind of like what I was talking about before, you need to advocate for yourself. I see a lot of women, speaking up more, having a seat at the table. I see a lot of women just being more present and just a lot more female leaders. And it's really refreshing. I love it. And I think, we have our inclusive resource groups at Eaton, and we have WAVE, which is the women's resource group. So I see a lot of empowerment there too. I see, we get together, we lift each other up. It's been very refreshing. So yeah.
I love that for you, all at Eaton. I totally related to what you were saying earlier. Just you had me going back to when mine were little and like the rush of drop off and like you said, hour-long drive and like you
Yes.
pick them up and make dinner and do baths and then it's bedtime and you got to repeat the whole thing over again. So I love seeing that you guys have a group that I'm sure there's tons of commonalities that make people feel less alone and like, oh, they're the only one that's going through this. And, finding space to say, it's okay to, do this or that, or, provide suggestions and ways to make that balance, so to speak, a little bit better for them if that's the issue. But yeah, no, that's amazing. Michelle, it was so great getting to know you. And I can't thank you enough for accepting our invitation to celebrate you as a Woman of the Week.
Oh, thank you so much, Jackie. It was fun. I appreciate the invite
Good.
too.
I love it. All right, amazing. So community members, please comment, um, you know, give Michelle high fives, share your tips and insights. Without it, this is how we grow and invest in one another. So please do. And until next time, happy Wednesday.